Perfect. Okay, we'll just go ahead and get started. I'm going to start with Katie, then Abigail, Kirsten, Charlene, and then Crystal. That's the order in my computer. I'm always like, the order is different on mine, but, and just do like one win for this week. Okay.
So my one win for the week is that I started working with a business coach. And so I've been working on like focusing on like who my prospects, what they need and how I can solve it, and like focusing my attention on like I help statements and stuff like that. So I've been working on like how I would help them so I can focus my posts and my messages on that as well.
That's awesome. Does he have you, is it her or him?
It's a her, yeah.
Does she have you do it as an avatar, like create this person and what they look like, or is it just kind of like what they need? Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
Who's your Susie? Yeah.
They call it like Who's Your Susie, and then they like break it down, and then the thing they build like I help statements, so you're stating like how you help the person that you're trying to help with or stuff like that. But they're also helping me like with my branding, so I can redo my Instagram and my Facebook to make it so that more people would actually come to my Instagram.
Perfect. I love that.
And then the branding as well, though. Did you know that hashtags are not as important as tagging people in your posts on Instagram? Did not know that until this week. They're like, yeah, hashtags are great, but how many times do you actually search hashtags in your Instagram unless you're actually looking for prospects? And I'm like, okay, that's a good point. Who do I tag? And so that's something, just a little tip for y'all.
I did learn that on like people that have large followings that maybe you follow that person, you tag them and you're like, hey, this was a great quote or something. And then it puts you in their story or their, like tagging them in your stories is really good. Cause then they can add it to their stories too. And then everybody who sees their stories sees your thing. And then people, yeah. Like I didn't realize it was more important than hashtag, but I've started, and then I like, I'll go a week and I'm like, oh, I didn't tag anybody.
So my coach was going through my posts and she was like, you have all these hashtags, which is awesome, but how many times do you actually search a hashtag? And I'm like, legit, because I never search hashtags. Like, I don't like them, but I do them because I'm told that they're supposed to help. Yeah, and like you can follow hashtags, but people mostly follow other people. And other groups and stuff. And so if you tag them, their post or your post shows up in their stuff. And so when they look through their stuff, they're going to see your stuff as well. And you're going to get more attention that way.
Okay. So let me ask you this. In like a week or two, when you're like learning some stuff, would you mind like spending 10 minutes and sharing what you've learned like with everybody else? Okay, cool. So we'll put you on the schedule and like give you some time. Yeah. Perfect. Cool. Okay. Abigail.
Well, my friend that has the connections to Mexico, she's offered I don't think she knows exactly what she's, wait a minute, I don't.
Can't unmute. I thought she paused it to talk to her kid, but it looks like she froze instead. So we'll wait a minute to
Hold
see.
on.
Oh, wait.
Sorry.
Oh, she came back. You were frozen. So for a minute.
There we are.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. It's probably my toddler. What is it? No, let Mama talk for a minute, okay? No, anyways,
it's all good. We got kids.
Yeah, I know. One of my friends that has connections. Hey, hold on. Let me talk now, please. One of my friends that, hey, I'm not able to get a word in edgewise. Benjamin. Okay, you're quiet now. Mommy talk, okay? Anyways, I don't know what part you guys heard and what part you didn't hear, but my friend that has connections to Mexico, she's agreed to help me translate, and yeah, she's like, what can I do for you? How can I help? I don't think she knows exactly what it's going to involve yet, but I'm excited. I think she'll help whatever way she can. So I'm not sure she'll join.
So I talked to Brooke the other day, and she said she's willing to do like some group calls, one-on-one calls to explain it to the person.
Okay.
And explain what it really would entail.
Okay.
And if they needed it in Spanish, then Thomas could do the call. So if we had somebody that was like, they're in Mexico or, whatever.
Yeah. No,
So
yeah.
just know that's an option, because she's like, oh, if you could get 2 or 3 people on a call, that's great. But if we can't, and you really do, like, maybe we can connect, because
Okay.
she might be able to explain it in a way that we're like,
Okay.
we know right here, but like, how do you?
Right. Yeah, I know exactly. That's what I'm trying to, I have those messages that you gave me, but I'm just like, I don't know if this is what I really want to tell her, because I don't, anyways, yeah. So, but I think I might see if I can't get 1 or 2 other people, because I know I've got a few other people.
So if you can have a couple people and you can
connections.
go, hey, would you mind just like a small, like 3 of us on a call? She's
Yeah.
going to talk to just a few of us and just kind of tell us what it is. Would you be open to a call? And then you can just even see if this is something for you. Like,
Yeah.
like to me, I'm always like, knowledge is power. Like, at least you
Right.
can just hear what I have to say. If it's
Oh,
not
yeah.
for you, totally fine. But would you
Right.
mind like being open to like having my friend tell you she can explain it better than I can, kind of a thing.
Right. Exactly. And I think even if she's not interested in it, I'm sure she'll give me referrals if she thinks that there's anybody interested. So exciting.
Awesome. Okay, Kirsten, are you getting your daughter ready? You can come back later if you need to.
Yeah, I couldn't find the mute button. Nope, she's ready.
Oh, okay.
Hurry and get your shirt on. Okay. Ugh.
She's
So,
ready without a
my-
shirt? No. Just kidding.
She has a shirt on. She said she wanted to change. So I'm waiting for the next shirt to appear before the bus does. Hurry, Hughes, or you're gonna miss the bus. Okay, 2 seconds. My win for the week is, and Rachel kind of heard me talking about this last night on our call, but I've just been sending out, I've started with my level 1s and I'm working my way to my 2s and 3s, but I've sent out just a super simple message on Messenger. Just literally, it just says like, hey, because I always say like, hey, girly, or hey, honey, or hey, whatever, because that's just me. Would you do me a quick favor and answer these 2 questions? And I just put number 1, why did you start Plexus? And number 2, why did you quit? And I said, thank you so much. Easy peasy, heart emoji, done. I've had a million responses, you guys. I've had so many responses, like, and they've all been like, because I think we get in our heads, like, why, at least for me, I get in my heads, I'm like, oh, people quit. And then I have that kind of negative feeling about them and about it. And now that I'm doing this, I'm like, oh my gosh, I could revive these people. Like, it was a cost thing, or it was they didn't have the right product thing. Like, one girl messaged me back last night and was like, and of course I was following up with her, but she's like, it gave me really bad headaches. Like, maybe I just didn't have the right stuff. And I'm like, you know what? That is a sign of detox. How much water were you drinking? What else were you doing? Come on, Hughes. So it's been awesome. We started conversations with people that have kind of ignored me for a while. And so that's been really good. It's simple, it's quick, it's easy, and I'm not kidding you. Every 5 messages I send, I get 4 responses. It's been awesome. So try it. Easy.
Awesome. Perfect. Okay, Charlene.
Okay. Well, I've lots of going on. Sorry. I think you guys all need Katie's shirt that says Surviving Motherhood. My win was yesterday. My grandson, I had to go pick him up at school because he was sick. And even with him, I was planning on being totally home alone and really working hard. So even with him here and me having to take care of him, I was still able to get some things done. And I have a couple of people who will be in the challenge next week. So I'm happy about that.
Okay, don't forget that to go back on the IPA and say, I have so many people in the challenge. So you get entered into whatever drawing that is. I remember that this morning and I was like, I didn't say that I got 2 people in so far. I think I have 1 more that messaged me back this morning. So yeah. So don't forget to go back, and don't forget to like participate in the, I'm doing it, I'm done. Because I think that's one thing. Like, I'm the kind of person, I do it. I just don't ever get back to say,
Yeah,
I'm done. And I think that when we say we're done and we just be like, this was great, thank you, it lets Emily and Brooke know, all the people that do all the time of making it. They're like, oh, people are using them. Because sometimes they're like, are you guys even doing it? Like, did I spend 5 hours today, doing it? And so I've been trying to be better at that myself of I'm done. Like, when you used to have to do screenshots, I'd be like, oh.
Yes, I know. Well, and now I know also, when you mention that, we're not ghosting them.
Yeah.
You know, we are doing some things. We just may
Yes.
not be,
Yes.
replying in time or whatever. We get climb into bed and going, oh, I forgot to,
So sometimes when I go on the next day and then I tag my people, I go to the first day and I'm like, hey, I got it done, da, 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 so there is some feedback and stuff. So, yeah, I think that's awesome. And now that they're doing some drawings and stuff, I'm like, yeah, let's do it. And it's funny because I did a drawing for my team. I told my team, like, everybody who participates, I'll put your name in a drawing if you do all 4 days. And then I went and read day one and I'm like, oh, she's doing a drawing too. So you guys can like double dip for doing it, So, cause I was like, oh, let's get everybody just enthused. I have some new people that like brand new. And I'm like, let's get you doing the IPAs. Let's, kind of a thing. So that's awesome. I think I've gotten to a point where I'm like, I'm going to make this fun. I'm going to make it pleasurable. I'm going to make it easy. I'm going to enjoy my journey. And if that means I go pick up my grandkid and then you spend a day with him and you don't get as much done, it's fine. Like you want to fit it into your life. You want to make it easy. The mindset I've been working on is like, oh my gosh, like sometimes I think like, oh, I got to go do this stuff. And then I go, wait, I can like work from home, bless people's lives every day. Why do I think that this is a challenging job? Like this is so much better than putting my kids in daycare and going to a salon all day, or putting my kids in daycare and, finding a job that like I'm working 8 hours
that
a day.
pays you 15 hours at 15
yeah,
hours an
10,
hour,
15 bucks an hour. And like, I get to be at home and like make my schedule and do my shopping and do my laundry. Like, why wouldn't I be like, oh my gosh, this is the best job ever? When sometimes we're like, I don't know, I just didn't get around to it. So that's more of my mindset lately is like, I'm going to make it fun. I'm going to make it easier. I'm going to make it pleasurable. I'm going to do my IPA and I'm not going to feel bad if I stop and do laundry. I'm not going to feel bad if my kids like go, hey mom. And I go, let me put this down, see what you need. Like I've been more conscious and like when they come home at 4, sometimes I'm like still doing stuff. And I'm like, ooh, they're home. I need to stop and like go be with them so that it doesn't turn to chaos. So yeah, like I love that because you're like, oh, he got sick. Like you didn't plan for that. That just happened. And you still get a little bit done, or you call it a day that it was a grandkid day, so good. Okay. So my win for this week is I kind of was doing what Kirsten was doing. Like I was sending out some messages. So Katie, I reached out to some of your guys' people. So if you're going to send that message, let me know and I'll tell you who. I think is it Carly or Carrie Murray? Is she under you, Katie?
It's Carly.
Carly.
She'll never respond though.
She did respond to mine.
I am impressed.
And it's funny because I sent 2 messages and they sent at the same time, but the one sent before the other.
Uh-huh.
And I put, hey, this is Rachel Miner. And that one sent second for some reason. So she was like, who is this? And then she was like, oh, and she like sent me back a 1-line reply or something. So I'll tell, because I was doing that. I was starting with A's and just going all the way down because I was sending those perk messages. I think Abigail got the perk message, like that I was like, hey, this is how you use your perks. But if they were a white line, then I was doing the questions. I was saying, why'd you quit? Why'd you start? Because I'm like, there's no use in telling them about perks. They don't care to use the
I would
products.
like to send out those questions. So whenever or just tell me who you've already talked to kind of thing.
Okay.
I was gonna try to send out those questions today to my white line.
Okay. So for sure, all the people who have a first name or a last name with A and B, I've done.
Okay.
No, maybe C's because it was Carly or Carla. It's C.
That's the first name though.
It was the first name. Yeah, because it alphabetized them by first names because Abigail, you're the first one on my list. So any A, B, or C first names, message me and I'll tell you if I sent them something.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so that was my win is I started sending out those messages and I had a few people that are like, I've moved on to something else. And I'm like, do you want me to delete you completely? And they're like, yes. And it felt really like great. Like I'm happy you found something. I can delete you and I don't have to message you anymore. Like you've moved on, deleted them out of my contacts. And then other people were like, hey, this and that. And it got some conversations started. And I had one person that only was getting BioCleanse and ProBio 5. And I sent a message to the people that were under 100 PV on like how they could get points, perk points, if they ordered every other month instead. And they put a subscription on, and then every other month they just push the subscription back. Does that make sense? So they always have a subscription, and then they just push it back, and then they don't get points the month they don't order, but they don't lose their points. So they still can like save up points. And then I was like, and then you save shipping and stuff. And then at the end I was like, I'd love to just talk to you about what your goals are and where you're going. Like, do you have time for a call? And this lady was like, yeah, I could do next Tuesday. And I was like, great. So I put her on my calendar. I called her last night, and I really just said, tell me where you're at. Tell me where you want to be. Didn't know her. She's like a level 4, you know, like she's under another friend, and she was like this, and this. And she's like, I started on BioCleanse and ProBio 5. And then the next month they sent me a Slim, and I didn't even order a Slim. And I go, well, that's exactly what happened. Like, she got an auto ship automatically in there. And then the auto ship came, and it was a triplex plus her ProBio 5 and BioCleanse. She's like, it was like $180. So she's like, I called Plexus and they sent it all back, and it was no big deal. Which, by the way, if you do have people that send things back, they now require you to send the products back, just so you're aware of that. Like, they used to just not question it. Now they still don't question it, but they do send you a return address so that you ship the products back. And so she's like, and I go, and so I explained to her why it happened. And she's like, oh, that makes so much more sense. Because when I called them, I was like, I've never logged in. There's no way I would have ordered that. And I was like, and she's like, why would they do that? And so then I said, well, most people do take Slim because of blah, 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 blah. And I explained the benefits of Slim. And I said, and she had ulcer colitis. And I go, actually, you might really love Ease. And we talked about Ease, and we talked about X Factor. And I didn't ask her to purchase anything. I just said, we have this 3-day challenge that you can really learn a whole lot more. And let me friend you on Facebook, and then you can send me questions and this. And we just had this open, like, value conversation that by the end of the call, she was like, I definitely want to be in that 3-day challenge. I definitely want to learn more. And then she was talking about high cholesterol and high blood pressure. And I was like, and Slim will help with that. And she's like, really? You know, so here's somebody who like totally sent back Slim, and I could have chalked her off to like, she's never going to order it. She just sent it back 2 months ago, you know? But because I just was like, let's have a call. Just tell me where you're at. Tell me. And she's like, well, do you want my history, my medical? And I'm like, yeah, tell me, you know? And she told me how she got E. coli, and it went undiagnosed for all these years, didn't cause the ulcer colitis, you know, and all this stuff. And I go, okay, you have inflammation in your body, and inflammation, blood sugar, gut health will solve all these things. And so because sometimes I'm like, really? You want me to like call everybody? Like, I don't have time for calls, you know? But when I get off a call, I was like, that was the most valuable hour of my time, because I gave that person value, and they're 100% more likely to stay on because I gave them education one-on-one than messaging back and forth. Like, I think sometimes you think you're going to save time by messaging, and then in the end you lose them. Whereas if you called, it might have been an hour of your time, but then they're going to stay with you a lot longer because now they have a personal relationship with you. And now I know her, and I'm going to friend her, and she knows that she can ask me anything. And she's like, okay, how about if you put me in that 3-day challenge? Because I have a lot of questions, and I think they're going to get answered in that challenge. That if they don't get answered, then I'll write them down. And I was like, perfect, you know? And I even trickled in the business. I was like, okay, I'm really going to work on this, trickling in the how to share, because I'm like, she's only on ProBio 5 and BioCleanse, but I was like, hey, and if you do think you might want to try some of these products, because I know in her mind, she already thought Slim costs $180. Like, in her mind, it was $180 because she got Slim, and then all of a sudden her cost was so high. So I was like, hey, if you do decide, like, she was like, I feel so good on these products. And I'm like, so if you could think of a few people that might also love these products, I'm like, then we can just get your Slim paid for, and you don't even have to like, then have to pay for it, and you can try some of these other products. And she was like, yeah, I do have a few people that might love these products. And I've been talking to people, and she's like, I'll just be honest with you, I was the most skeptical person there is. And I go, I go, was it Debbie? What was her name? Oh, Brenda. I go, Brenda, we were all skeptical in the beginning, you know? And so I like reassured her, you know, and she's like, I have some friends that cannot believe me that I feel this good. And I haven't felt this good since 2014. And they just don't believe me. And she goes, I was so skeptical. And I was like, maybe in a month or two, I might feel something. She goes, I couldn't believe it that within 2 weeks, I didn't have to run to the bathroom. Like and I was like, oh my gosh, for me talking to this person, I realized she's got an absolute testimony of BioCleanse. And usually people who were running to the toilet do not want to take BioCleanse. Like she's just like, that has saved my life. And after 2 weeks, I didn't have to run to the toilet and this and that, you know? And I was like, so I'm like, there's a testimonial. She's willing to share. She's interested in maybe learning more about Slim. And I could have just said, why bother with this person because she's an under 100 PV person and she sent back slip. Like I could have easily just checked her off. She's not my level 1, 2, or 3, you know, and I took the time and I'm like, I really think that person is like going to be more educated and stick around. So go by your heart, because that wasn't in my original message. Like at the last minute, I was like, I should just ask her if I could give her a call. And I did. And then she was like, okay, you know, so, you know, we're all God girl, like just pray and be like, who needs me the most today? Who should I call today? Who should I message today? You know? So, hey, Kirsten, you are back. So what I wanted to also cover today
I've been here. I just was looking at my ceiling.
was mapping that Christy Jacks. Like that's what I wanted to grab papers and pens for. Okay. So, so real quick, whoever is G7
to go over it.
Q, the person that hopped on, like if you want to.
Okay, so that's my Crystal.
Oh, Crystal. She was on before under another name.
She's just gonna listen.
Oh, okay.
Okay. She's new. She started a few months ago. She's loving the product. She's seeing amazing weight loss. She shared a little bit here and there. She's super interested in sharing and wants to grow a business, but she's a little hesitant at the time. But she just wants to listen and learn today. So
perfect. Well, Crystal, I didn't know your name and I saw Crystal before. So welcome to the call. And yes, if you do want to say something, you can unmute yourself, but if not, you can totally stay silent. So, okay. So everyone grab a piece of paper and pencil. Okay. And we're going to kind of map it out on a piece of paper. And on the paper, we're going to write like a sentence about what you're going to write on your real one. So I'm going to tell you what it is. And then you'll have to grab another piece of paper and actually do it on the piece of paper. But this is part of the systems, because we have that paper that has all those systems. So I'm going to type this one up and then I'll add it to that paper and then we'll have it on that systems paper. And I don't know if I sent the systems paper to the In the Pink people. I sent it to my team. So I took all of our like 3-day challenge, IPA, like all those systems, and I put them on one piece of paper and a 1-line sentence of why we would use that system, so that when you have somebody new and you want to pass on the systems to them to learn, it's not like, here's this document, and then they're like, I don't know what any of these are. So I just kind of put them on one paper, and then I have the link to then the paper, if that makes sense, like it's in a Google Doc. So it's like, this is the IPA systems, and this is the paper you use to learn how to share the products. And then the link then goes to the paper that is the system, if that makes sense. Okay. So I'll add this mapping one on there. Oh, Charlene, you had a question before and I didn't see. I have a question about perk points. I only have 3 of my 10 active that show up. Is there a reason for that? Do you know? How do people, or active subscriptions? Okay. So are you talking when you go into the perks report? Okay. So in the perks report, it's only going to show people who have either changed their subscription, canceled it, shut it off, or started it. So if you have somebody that has a subscription and it's never changed, then they're never going to show up, because the perks report is only to tell you basically like who's shut off. But then they'll tell you if you had somebody that like had a subscription for 200 PV and they dropped it to 100 PV, they'll show up because their perk points were affected by that, if that makes sense. And so it'll tell you they were getting 200 perk points. Now they're only getting 1. But when it says like perk points, like where it says like forfeited, or it'll say NA for not affected, meaning they keep the points they have. They're not at risk for losing them. And so that's why all your people aren't showing in there. And there isn't a way to see how many perk points people just have in general. So usually if somebody has a subscription on, they've been diligent, they haven't really shut off, they haven't really changed them, then I've just sent them a message that's like, hey, this is our new perk points. You probably have some sitting in there. Here's a video to show you how to go use them. And that's the message I've just been sending to everybody who already has an active subscription, just to kind of educate them, because I don't know if they're aware of it. And so in your perk report, yeah, so you probably have 3 people that have either shut off or changed their subscription. So I had one that was in there and she changed it to like 70 PV. And so I messaged her, I'm like, just so you know, you have like 300 perk points. I go, it's worth it to bump it to 100, use up your 300 PV. And then in a month you could bump it down to 70 if now you have too much product and you don't want those points, or you don't want the subscription. But I go, that's like a free bottle of something, because 300 points is like $30. And so she went in and bumped it. So then the next day when I went in there, she was still in the perk report because she changed her subscription. But because it was within the 2 days, then it showed her that she still had her 300 points, and then her thing went to NA for not applicable, like she doesn't lose them. So then she stayed in there because she had adjusted it. So if you're like, I have people and they're not showing up, that's why, because those other people are good. Or and so you can go back and change, like, you know, the date to 3 days just to see who's in there, and then go back to 90 days. And I had quite a few people who were in the 90s because they had changed subscriptions. And so I was aware of everybody in the 90 days. And then now when I go in there daily, I just put 3 days, because I'm like, well, all those people I already addressed, I already sent message to or whatever. And then every single day, I just get in the habit of, the first thing I do when I sit down at the computer, I go into perks points, go into the report, see if anybody pops up new. And if you get in that habit, then really you're only looking like 1 name or 0 names, you know, like, and then you're like, good, done, you know, I'm good for the day kind of thing. Okay. Does that answer the questions on the perk points? Okay. So your piece of paper, this is the mapping system. This is how you're going to map your goals, map where you want to be, and tie it all together. Okay. So I think there are 1, 2, 3, 4, I think there's 7 things. So if you want to like put 7 boxes or 7 numbers or whatever, the very top, number 1 on the top of your piece of paper, you're going to write the rank you want to be. So the next rank. So, so even though like I want to be Emerald, I need to still get to Senior Ruby. So mine would be Senior Ruby. Okay. So the next rank. Okay. So that's what's going to be at the very top. Okay. Number 2 is you're going to put a box underneath that. And in that box, number 2, you're going to write about that rank, and you're going to talk about it. You're going to like, what do you do? What does it mean to you? What will you use the money? Not just like, oh, I'll have money to pay the bills. No, like it means that if I pay the bills, it's that relaxation. I feel good. I can do things with my family. We don't have stress. We'll go out to eat once a year instead of never, you know, whatever it is, you're going to make those family memories. If you have a goal of like, once I hit this goal, then I celebrate with my kids and we go to the park and we have a picnic and a dance party. Like what does it mean to you? How does it make you feel? Like I have my list here, and I use words like good, excited, fulfilling, successful, accomplished, purposeful, rewarding, loving, serving, unstoppable, adventurous, Hawaii Rachel. Like those are my words. I had relief on there and I had to go cross it out, because relief is like, oh, I finally got there. That's not positive. Like, so I was like, block that one out. Like you want things that are like, oh my gosh, like if you like tomorrow ranked diamond and you were celebrating and you were like, woohoo, and you're jumping up and down, what is the excitement feelings that's going to go through you? Like that's the kind of things you want, that like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Like, oh my gosh, like I help so many people. Like it's fulfilling. I'm successful. Like those are the kind of words. Okay. So you're going to talk about it, like write it in a sentence. How does it make you feel? You're going to like activate the manifestation. Like how, you know, like how do you feel? How are you going to feel when let's see. Oh, what's your home life going to be like? You know, like if I do this, then I can purchase this for homeschool. If I do this, then I can put my daughter in ballet, like whatever your home life might be affected. So all those things are in number 2. Okay. Let's see, extra time or money. What will that do for you? So not only what the extra money will do, but like the extra time you'll have, what will you do with that time or money? Dig in, ask more questions. So when it gets hard, like you'll have this paper, and that's kind of like your, the feeling behind your why, you know, like if the why is like, oh, to bring my husband home so he doesn't have to work anymore. Okay, why? It's the 7 levels deep, like, and why does that affect you? Oh, because he's so stressed all the time. Why does that affect you? Because then it affects my kids getting upset, you know? So, oh, if he doesn't have to work all the time, then we have family memories and he's not stressed and we have this happy life in the family. And if issues come up, then we can deal with it, you know, like the feeling and emotion behind it. Okay. Then another box below the number 2, and that's number 3. So in number 3, figure out how much it will take to make that amount of money, to get that rank, to get those points. And you can even do this if like you can do this as a big goal, like, okay, my next one's Ruby or something, and then you can even redo this mapping per month. So if you're like, I know I'm not going to hit Ruby this month, but I want to increase 100 points this month, you can redo it and say, this is my 30-day mapping. So this mapping can be used for long-term goals and short-term goals. So I would encourage you to maybe do your next rank and then also do one for maybe this month. So maybe at the top, you're at like 60 points and you're like, I want to be 160 points so that I'm gold plus some. So I want to increase 100 points, you know, so instead of a rank, you could even put a point amount at the top. Okay. So then number 3 is, what is it going to take to get to that? So if your thing is gold, okay, if I'm at silver and I have, is it 10 people, then you're at 50 points. Then number 3 is, I need to get 50 more points to get to gold, or I need to get 150 to get to my 160 point goal. Okay. So number 3 is mapping out what you need to get to where you need to go. Okay. If it's a dollar amount, I want to make 1,000 a month. Okay. How many points to equal pay points to equal dollar amounts to get to your goal? So does that make sense? So your goals could be a rank, a points, a dollar amount, whatever that is at the top. Okay. And then you need to be very specific. Okay. Let's see. Do it at the beginning of our month, point increase. Okay. So this is where like, you're going to break it down and you're going to go, okay, it's 100 points. Okay. 100 points is 20 people. Okay. My goal every month is usually like 3 people. So if I pushed hard and I shot for 6 people, then that would bring me 30 points. Okay. Then I'm going to have to help 2 of those people go silver, which be another 30 points, you know, like, and then I'm going to help one of those people, help one of those people get 3 people. Does that make sense? So you're breaking it down and you can go, that's how I'm going to get 90 points. And then I'm going to go through my back office and I'm going to find 4 people that are white lines or under 100 subscription, and I'm going to help them address their issues and turn their subscription back on or try different products. So you're not just adding new people, but you're also looking at what you have to work with it. And you're like, okay, this person's at 98 PV every single month. Like, what if I did a call with her to see where she's at, see where she wants to go, see if she wants to try to get her products paid for, up her subscription to 100 PV, maybe share with 2 people, get some money, pay for her products, you know? So you're mapping out like exactly how you're going to get there by adding new people, white lines, subscriptions. And so it's not just all adding people, but you're breaking it down. I'm going to help Katie go silver. She's going to enroll Abigail. We're going to help Abigail get her 3. And then one of Abigail's 3 is going to share with one person and one over here is going to share with 3, you know, so like you're really just like mapping it out. And sometimes it can be, okay, I'm going to help this person and I'm going to call her my Susie because I don't know who she is yet and she hasn't joined yet. So I'm going to put a circle or, you know, and just put like a number there of like, okay, I need 4 Susies. So I'm going to have 4 empty spots so that when I enroll them, then I put their names in. So it doesn't have to be people already on your team. It can be like, I'm going to find one new business builder that wants to build this business this month. And I'm going to pray about it. And I'm going to really reach out. Okay. So you're mapping that all out. You're putting the points associated with them. You're putting the dollars amounts associated with them so that when you add up that box, you know exactly it's going to get you to the top. And we always know there's a little bit of attrition. There's a little bit of people who were on right now, and by the end of the month, they'll be off. So you always add in a few extra. You know, if you're like, okay, I need 20 people. Well, in my numbers, I'm going to shoot for 23 or 24 because I know that somewhere along the way, somebody else is going to drop off or not, you know, or whatever. So that you always just have a few numbers in there because you don't want to be like, my goal is 100, and it's perfect because we all know that's not life. So I always am like, okay, if it's 100, then shoot for like 110, you know, or something like that. Okay. So that you, in the end, your number 3, like basically lays it all out. Okay. Number 4 is, if you go back to number 3, like what was your personal enrollment in number 3? So number 4 is what's your personal enrollment goal? And then, what is going to be some of your personal activity to get you to that personal enrollment goal? So whatever you put in number 3 is like, okay, I'm going to enroll 3 this month, or I'm going to shoot for 6. Number 4 is, okay, what are you going to do to get the 4, you know, or 6 people or whatever? So in number 4, you might go, okay, I'm going to have to increase my IPA, and I'm going to have to do 30 minutes a day instead of 15. And I'm going to have to reach out to 10 instead of my 3 asks, because I know that if I send 100 messages, 10% will respond and maybe 1 will get interested in joining the 3-day challenge. So if I need to enroll 6, that means over the course of the month, I need to send out 600 messages, you know, 60 will respond and I can get 6 to enroll. Like that's kind of a numbers game. I mean, when it comes down to it, it's building personal relationships and stuff. But when you put it on paper, there's kind of, you can kind of look back and go, okay, for every 100 messages I sent out, 10% respond, you know, the other 90 ghost you, whatever, come back later. So in number 4, you're going to basically put in words what it's going to take for you to hit your personal goal that you wrote in number 3. Okay. Number 5 is your team goals. Okay. And this can be like, you're going to kind of take the people you put in number 3 and you're going to put them in number 5. And so you're going to say, okay, here's my Katie, here's my Abigail, here's my Charlene. What am I going to help each one of these people do? And this could be a rank goal. It could be a points goal. It could be a numbers goal. So it's like, okay, I'm going to help Katie get to gold, I'm going to help Abigail get to silver, and I'm going to help Charlene increase 100 points. So basically you're taking what you put in number 3 and you're putting it in number 5, and then you're going to be like, okay, how am I going to help Katie to gold? Okay, Katie needs blah, 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 blah. I'm going to help her do this by making sure she knows about the 3-day challenges. Then I'm going to do 2 wellness events with her and have a Zoom call, or Abigail, it's going to be like, we're going to schedule that like Mexico call with Brooke, you know, like you're going to like map out how you're going to help that team member get to where she wants to go. Okay. And then you're going to put like where they are now. So you don't just want to go, oh, help them go silver. You're going to go, okay, they have 2 actives right now. They need 1 more. To get the 1 more, it's this. So that you know where you're at, where you need to go. Okay. So number 5 is you're going to detail it. And then map out their points, their enrollments, their people. And then you can even have the people underneath it. So here's Katie's. Well, Abigail's underneath her. Okay, do we need to map out Abigail's? You know, Charlene's under Abigail. Do we need to map out Charlene's? Like, you're going to kind of break it down even more on that one, okay? Number 6. Okay, who are you going to help personally? So maybe number 5 is you have team members that are helping some of those team members. Like I'm reaching out to Kimberly and saying, hey, Kimberly, you're going to help Katie, Abigail, da, 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 da. Number 6 is who are you going to help personally? Who on your team would want to go silver, build, get products paid for? So maybe in number 6, you're writing down people that have never shared and you want to reach out to see if they'd be interested in sharing. So you're kind of mapping out your monthly, like this week, I'm going to reach out to these people this week, and that maybe people who are not in your team, maybe they're just taking products. Maybe they are people who aren't even in Plexus yet. So you're going to like, you're going to start turning over stones. Like this is where you're going to go in and go, here's a lady that orders BioCleanse and ProBio 5. Let me just see if she'd be open to a call. Like this is where you're going to kind of turn over those stones that maybe you hadn't thought of before. So that's how Christy described it. She goes, turning over the stones of like going through your back office and being like, oh, that's somebody that signed up 2 months ago and I totally have never called her or anything, you know. So you're going to turn over your stones. You're going to have no attachment to people. You're going to have no attaches to the responses, no attaches to the outcomes. You're going to just reach out, and they may say no, but they might bring somebody else to the table. So this is where you're going to think outside the box. Okay. So number 6, maybe you thought of somebody jogging last night. And you're like, oh, I need to write down her name, you know, and I need to reach out to her. And I'd encourage you, I think it was it Kirsten or Janelle or somebody last night on the call? I think it was Janelle. And she was like, I thought of somebody on the hike in Kona, and normally I'd be like, oh, I'm going to have to call her when I get back. And she goes, I went, no, I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm going to get out my phone right now and I'm going to send her a message right now because she is on my mind right now. And that means she needs it right now. And she's like, I sent her a message. We got the conversation started. I think she's like, she signed up that day or the next day or something. Like, she's like, I listened to the nudges. I listened to my heart. I listened to the prompting, and I didn't put the prompting off. So this is where you're going to be like, okay, Heavenly Father, who am I not thinking about that could be one of my people? I'm going to turn over those stones. Okay. Oh, so, and then I made a note, number 4, 5, and 6 is a whole lot of possibilities. So 4, 5, and 6 is like, what could happen if this was the best case scenario? So dream big in this, like, you know, because you never, and then shared a phrase that I loved on the last day. And it says, you can do anything you want if you don't let there be hurt. And she said that her brother had shared that with her, and that was like what clicked for her. So you can do anything you want if you don't let there be hurt. And basically that's the, you know, don't worry about the outcomes, don't worry about anything, but just the way she said it, like you could do anything you want. You could be anything you want. You can do anything you want if you just don't care. Like, because if you're just like my sister just went to court with her ex, and she was all worried, and she was like, I'm going to be on Zoloft. I'm going to be a mess. I'm going to be this. And I'm like, whoa. I go, change your story right now. And she's like, but he's going to pull out all my deep, dark secrets. I go, so go into court and be like, he's going to pull out all my deep, dark secrets. And I'm going to be like, that's it. Because I already knew you were going to pull them out, and just have that smile on your face and be like, I knew you were going to do that. We're good. You know, and she did. Like, she kind of changed her thinking. And she's like, I had a smile on my face, and I could see him in mediation on the other side. And he was the one all frustrated and everything because he knew he couldn't get to me and he knew he couldn't control me. So when you don't let there be hurt, you don't give the other person control over you, because 9 times out of the 10, if they send a message back, it's not about you. It's about something else going on in their life. It's about, they just got in a fight with their husband. Their husband controls the money. They're frustrated over their weight. Their depression is so bad and they haven't admitted it to anybody, and you have no clue. Like Kirsten said, she is so shocked by these messages coming back because she had already created a story in her mind of like why they quit. And now they're completely different messages. Like, you know, like you've already put that story. So if you're like, if they come back and say, no, wait, I went for the no. I was hoping they'd say no, because then I just leave that open. And so I'm always like, think of this space of like, okay, I got this space for my next business builder. And this person came in and I told them about it and they said no. Well, that's fine. They're just going to move out and it's still open for my next person. So you're like, I'm so grateful I reached out to them, because then I just was able to know that the time is not right for them and my space is still open. Not like, that's it, I'm done. You know, I'm out of here. It's like, oh, well, who's my next person that I need to reach out to? Oh, this person, not quite right for them. Okay, we moved out. Oh, oh my gosh, this time it's right. They filled the spot. Okay, now I'm going to go to my next spot. Who's ready? You know, like if you just change that thinking and change that mindset, You're like, I don't care, because I know if something comes back, it's not about me. It's not about the hurt. I could just move forward. Okay. Then number 7.
Hey, Rachel.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Go
I
ahead.
was just going to say really quick and it also opens you up too. Like if people started 2 years ago and quit and don't pay attention, they don't know about Joyome. They don't know about collagen. They don't know about active. So maybe the triplex wasn't for them, but they're struggling with skin issues. Or, I mean, collagen is like a hot thing right now. It's everywhere. So in Hawaii, it was like, I noticed at Target, those stuff at our Target that's $24 was $50. I was like, whoa. But so there's other things that, and not necessarily right now. So one of my people that was like, no, my doctor got me on a different protocol. I'm feeling great. I was like, that's so awesome. I'm so happy for you. Great. You better believe next time a Joyome or collagen thing comes up, I'm messaging that girl. Because I can just say, I know that your doctor got you on all this stuff and that's so awesome. I'm glad your health's under control, but you really should check out our skincare. It's clean products. It's amazing. It's wonderful. Because she didn't say no to that. So it just kind of opens you up to, yeah.
And didn't they announce that, like, was it an email or something? I don't know. They were talking about it, but I didn't check my email. That there's a new category coming out at convention. Like we have weight, nutrition, skincare. There's a new like category. I'm hoping it's the CBD, but I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, they did say new category. So I don't know. Like, and we were saying something about like skincare or skin wash or something. And they're like, hold on. Like some of those Jules were like, just wait. So I'm like, you know, there's tons of new stuff in the pipeline. So you can have somebody that's like, nope, I don't like the Slim. I don't like the BioCleanse. And then you can go, oh yeah, we just came out with the collagen. And they'd be like, oh, something. I have a type 1 diabetic who started for Slim, saw her blood sugars come down, but she's like, I have a pump. Like, it's so much easier. Just let my pump adjust it. She doesn't care about her health. But now she's wanting to do the business because she loves the collagen and her husband takes the collagen and is loving it. So now they want it paid for. And I'm like, you're a type 1 diabetic who doesn't care about her health, but is like, if my skin's tight, great, I'll share it. And so you just never know. So yeah, that's the stones you're going to unturn. You're going to go back to all your people who quit 2 years ago and you're going to be like, we have this awesome skincare and collagen. Would that interest you? You know, like you just never know. Okay. So number 7 to me is almost the most important, like tie it all together. Okay. Number 7 is you're going to bring the emotion to the process. You're going to take the emotion that was in your number 2 box to fill it during the journey. Because we all know the reward does not come in the goal. The reward comes in the journey. The reward comes like your vacation that you planned for 6 months and you got all excited with and you planned with your family. And then at the end of the week, you're like, it's over. It felt like a dream. It's because all of the joy was in the journey of planning it and getting excited and getting your kids excited. Like it's in the journey. And we all know that like Plexus is really a self-improvement plan with like some money attached and making new friends. Like to me, it's like this self-help journey that I've been on. Like, because I know that once I fix my health, I had to address the problems that I was using my health to hide behind, you know? And like, we've all gotten out of our comfort zone. We've all, you know, faced fears. We've all done these things. So for me, you're going to put the emotion behind it like that. This is the passionate, you know, when people go, tell me why you started. And you're like, I took these products. I was suicidal. Like I took it. They changed my life, like that changing my life emotion. We all have talked about we've drank the Kool-Aid and we can never quit. Like we might have our ups and downs, but it's like, I cannot deny I'm supposed to be doing this. Like I cannot deny there are people I have to help. There are people out there. Like I suffered for 30 years going to doctors going, there's something wrong with me. Please help me feel good. Please help me not be sick. Please help me. Help my whole body. Don't just help my nose or my ears and when I started feeling good and I felt like I got my life back, it was this burning desire in my heart to go, there are other people that are suffering out there just like I was that need to know there is a reason why these work, and there's an answer to the problems you have and answers to the questions you've been searching for. And I was somebody who took probiotics for 30 years and never once found one that did what ProBio 5 does. Like I was a probiotic snob. I was like, has to be a refrigerator, has to have this, have to da, 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 da. Did they ever make me feel better? No, but I always took them because I knew I was supposed to take probiotics, and I was a gut health expert, and I knew I had researched. And it wasn't until all of a sudden I take plant and I'm like, wait, why am I feeling better? Why have all these things in my life changed when I already was taking chromium? I was already taking Garcinia cambogia. I was already taking probiotics. Like, I was already taking all of the things in Plexus. Why did they not do anything for me until I took Plexus? And I was like, because of the way they formulated, the extra things they have in it, the way, the quality of the product, I saw miraculous changes. So that emotion in me, when it's like, I'm in an MLM, do you want to buy some products? Or it's like, oh my gosh, like, you've got to try this stuff. It changed my life. Like, you can tell the difference in like the passion behind it, you know? So number 7, you're putting that emotion. You're like writing why you do this, like the emotion behind it, okay? People buy on emotions. Like, people buy from relationships. People buy because of the feelings they think they're going to have. Like, people don't buy a new house for a house. They buy a house for like the memories it's going to make, like the time with their kids, the more room to play. Like, it's what they think it's going to create. It's the emotion and the feeling. Okay. So you want to bring that emotion out to the process, and you want to up level your vibration. When I'm an emerald, this is how I'm going to feel. This is how I'm going to live, you know, and you want to bring that vibration up with money as well, because I've learned that, like, my money vibration was like so down low. And that's why when I ranked to Ruby, I self-sabotaged myself right back down, because I'm like, I don't deserve this. Like, I don't deserve to be at Ruby retreat. I'm not as good as these people. Like I did this activity with a coach. You guys could probably try it yourself. And it was like, she was like, okay, if you had $10,000, what would you go buy? No bills, no nothing, $10,000. I could not think of anything. And I was like, she's like, okay, if you cannot think, like money has energy, and money has to flow. And you get money and you use it for bills and buying things and food, and it has to come out, and it has to like go out. Can we have a screenshot of the list? Yeah, Crystal, I'll put it in the pink thread, so that after we end the call, you can still have the screenshot. Okay. And so money has to come and flow. And if you don't let it flow, then you don't get more. Like you've crushed that energy. And so she's like, even though you don't go out and spend $10,000, you have to like have the energy of like, if I had 10,000, like I would go buy this, and that, you know. And like, I'm like, I've never bought anything for myself. Like, she's like, you can't spend it on your kids, you can't spend it on your husband. I was like, I kind of realized I didn't have likes. Like, I didn't have anything that was my own identity. I'm like, well, if I go out to eat, I go out to eat where everybody else wants. If I shop with what everybody else wants, you know? And I was like, well, maybe I'd buy a pair of flip-flops because I like flip-flops. And she's like, okay, there's $10, you know? And I was like, I don't know, maybe I'd get a pedicure. And she's like, okay, we've maxed out $100. Like, $100 is all you can spend. And she's like, you will never make more because you can't even see yourself making more. So you're going to just self-sabotage yourself back down because you can't see yourself living that life. And so number 7 is seeing yourself live that life. If I make $10,000 a month, how is my life going to change? How am I going to feel? You know, and I don't know if you guys all know, like, I started like putting green everywhere. Like, I have targets on my wall that say 1,500 points. Like, I have these green jewels. I put them in my like pockets, and Kimberly, I love her. I don't know if you guys, like, I always wear those soy sauce shirts. Okay. Kimberly just sent me a soy sauce shirt in green because she's like, you always wear those soy sauce shirts. She's like, you need one in green so that you can wear it and be an emerald in your soy sauce shirt. So I got it yesterday and I'm so excited. I'm like, woohoo, you know? So like you need to like envision your life in your here living what is at the top of your paper. Like, you have to do that, because if you can't see yourself in that, you can't feel yourself in it, you're never going to get there. Okay. And so you can take number 7 and do your visualization and do like a 5-minute, and you can't visualize more than 5 minutes or your brain starts to like wander, but every day take 2 or 3 minutes and like, okay, when I'm this, then this, and this, and feel that emotion. And sometimes it takes like doing that excitement jump and jumping up and screaming, like when nobody's around, like, I'm so excited, I signed up 2 people today. Like you physically, like you have to have that emotion and shout and scream, which for me, I was like, I can't do that. Like even in like closed doors, I'm like, I can't do that, you know? And so when I started doing that and you celebrate all those tiny wins, like at the end of the day, be like, I got 1 yes to like be in the 3-day challenge. Like you got to celebrate it, and you got to like just celebrate all the little wins, because that's going to help you bring that energy, that emotion. You all have had that feeling like when you're on fire and you're like, I signed up somebody, and then you keep going and then you have more success. Like the momentum brings momentum because it's the energy you've produced. Okay. So have that emotion, have that energy, have all that stuff, put it all in 7. If you need, like, you could put that on a thing on the wall, whatever your affirmations always. So that number 7 is you're going to bring that emotion to the process of everything. Okay. And I think that's it. So do you guys feel like you could go map out your things? Okay. So once you've mapped them out, screenshot them, send them to who's ever above you and send them up, or send them to me, send them to Kirsten, send them to Lee, whatever. And that's what's so do it from here to the end of February. And then if you want to do a long-term one, you could do a long-term one too. But I want you guys to concentrate on this month. So if you're like, I have a rank, or like I have 50 points or 100 points, whatever it is. Okay. Kirsten, did I miss anything?
No, I think just keeping it simple too. Lori is in town right now, so she came over to my house yesterday and we literally did this. And we started by mapping this out, and it seems totally overwhelming. She has really lofty goals right now. And I was like, okay, we're going to take a minute. We're going to break it down. So we broke it all down, and then we literally like dug into her back office, like things she's never done before, things I'm learning. And I was like, you have so much you could just work on with what you already have and focus on this. And I mean, because we all have people that added people and then quit. Those people all started. So we were like going through her back office. Okay, who is this person? What did they order? When did they start? When did they stop? Let's send them a message. And we just started emailing people and messaging people. And it was just, the fire was lit in her and lit in me, that you just have to sit down and do it. And looking at it can be overwhelming. So if all you want to do this month is grow by 50 points, that's okay. That's your goal, and that's amazing. If your goal is loftier than that, that's okay. But break it down and work on it every single day. It's not just going to happen for you.
Well, and I know that like when you break that down, it becomes more realistic, because you're like, I'm going to be April. And then like you break it down in 3 and you're like, that means I got to sign up 1,000 people. Yeah, that's not going to happen. Okay. 100 points. Oh, when I break it down and I realize that's only 9 people here. Okay. That's doable. Yeah. You know, like let's stretch it and make it 12, not stretch it and make it 2,000.
Yeah. Well, like for Lori, she's like, okay, Charlene can add 3 people, because we needed her to add a certain amount. Well, if she adds 3 people and gets 2 of them to silver, we're there, rather than her adding 7 people. Do you know what I mean? So just really, and if any of you guys haven't seen or watched or heard any of Nicole Brinkerhoff with her silver development, listen, watch, because she just makes it super simple and super easy, and she has amazing success with silver. Like every person that joins you, you should have a conversation about them with them. Even if I have a lady that joined me a couple months ago, she's a CPA, they have plenty of money. It wasn't even an issue for her, but I said, hey, I just want to let you know, because it's available to you, and I feel obligated because it's so awesome to share this with everybody that joins my team. We do have an amazing program, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, oh, cool. That's awesome. Thank you. She never took me up on it, but I at least let her know that it was there, because it is. So don't ever assume that people don't need to hear that, because they do. So that's
awesome. Okay. Anybody have any questions? Sorry, it went like a full hour, but I was like, oh, we got to get it all in. Okay. Then it's a 2-page my notes are 2 pages, but I'll screenshot them. I'll put them in the thread. I haven't typed it up on anything pretty. It's just like my handwritten notes, so it might be hard to read, but that's one of my things today is like to type it up, put it in boxes, and then put it on our mapping paper. So I'll eventually get it in there, and we can add it to that list. And then I'll send you guys in the pink thread the Google Docs for mine, and then you can have that as well. And then it's all in one place. It's been on my mind for like ever, like I need it all in one place so that when I send it to somebody, and it's not all the words, it's just links. So then it doesn't seem so overwhelming when you like send it to somebody, and then they can click on the link when they're ready to go to the next step. So, okay, cool. Well, everyone have a great day, and like look at your calendar today and go, okay, I don't have time right now, but I got 30 minutes or an hour here in my day later on, or maybe it's tomorrow within the next 48 hours. Like make sure you set aside time to do this mapping. So, okay guys, bye.